Hey, you guys, welcome back to Facebook. I am Lakia Barnett, your host for tonight. I hope you guys have enjoyed your week. I hope you guys have been blessed. I hope you guys have been motivated and inspired to do more great things in your life as I am. And tonight I am just so excited to bring on a very special guest. Who I met through Facebook. Facebook is lovely, y'all, when you can meet new and exciting people that are doing new things to enhance in your life. And I'm going to talk about her, a little bit later, but I definitely want you guys to tune in and remember to share this broadcast and be a blessing to somebody else because it's not all about you, of course. So we want others to be blessed in their lives and in their times of lives. So I hope that everybody has been, doing well in their health and in their minds and in their current situations. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, this has been a very, 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 very hard time for me going into this holiday season. Last week when I left you guys, and I believe we were, talking about marriages last week. And if you guys missed that, you guys need to go find out what you missed because last week was on point about marriages. And I believe that God is speaking to us in so many different ways. But right after I got off the call, you guys wouldn't even believe the type of week that I had after Tuesday. It was just like, what in the world? And we talk about giants all the time, and we never know what we're going to have to face. And my giant came very quickly because I did let you guys know that my grandmother was in the hospital, and she wasn't doing too well. And the thing about it is, you guys, you just never know. And you try to take every little piece of time that you have with your loved one and love on them because you don't know. You can always have an inkling, but you never know the time or the hour or the day when your loved one or when somebody close to you is going to make their transition to be with God. And my transition actually took place on this past Thursday morning at 9 a.m. And I was just thrown for a huge surprise. She had just gotten out the hospital Wednesday night, and you guys, I received a phone call the next morning, and I just knew that it wasn't good, And that just it goes to show you that again, you guys make it a a conscious thing to check on your family members, to spend time with them. Don't wait till they get sick to do it. Do it while they're in their health and in their right state of mind. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know what could happen. And it really is a life lesson. And I think the only thing that my grandmother really wanted for all of us to do is to stay close and stay connected, not divided. And you guys hear me talk about that a lot because it's really what it is. You know, when you look and pay attention to today, it's very imperative that we stay connected because we never know what's coming down the pipe hole. We never know what tragedy will hit our families. It can be like you're here today and gone tomorrow, and it really is just that quick that someone can leave your life. So it doesn't pay to have hatred. It doesn't pay to, to not check on your family and your friends, you know, at the right time. So I just want to keep you guys just always informed about that. Just knowing that, God is your strength. You know what I mean? God is your strength. He can keep you when you're going through things like this. It is very hard. Death is a hard thing to swallow. Like no one could ever prepare, for that. Especially if you're burying your mother or your father or your kids, and to watch like my aunts and them, just the whole process, my mom and all of her sisters and brothers, like it just was very hard to watch them have to prepare for their mother's funeral. You understand what I'm saying? So I have to let you guys know every chance that I get that love your sister, love your brother, love your cousins, love your uncle, love your crazy aunt, whatever. Like, you just have to, because we're just at that time in life where you just never know. And I call this the eye of the storm, you guys. I call it the eye of the storm because we're in it. We are in the eye of the storm. And you got to understand that your God is bigger than the storm in your life. And I don't know who I'm talking to out there today, but I hope you guys are listening, that God is bigger than your storm in your life, whatever that may be. You can be facing a storm in your marriage. You can be facing a storm with your children. You can be facing a storm on your job. He's bigger than all of it, right? And all of us, we're at a time in life where we are at the eye of the storm. We're meeting the storm right in the middle. Things are coming up that we've never even expected in this world to even hear manifesting itself, and we all are still not paying attention to what the signs and the warnings are, right? And we can't give up, and we can't, let life kick us like that. We have to keep going regardless of what comes down the path of life. And we have to understand that we're always going to be faced with trials, and we're always going to be faced with tribulations, right? And it's going to come a time where you're going to wonder, where is God? I know some of us has been there before. We've been right there where we've asked, where is God in this situation? Why are we still in this situation? You know why you're still in this situation? Because you are supposed to be. It is a part of your journey. It's a part of your testimony. And it's a part of the test. And every test has a level of faith that you have to go through to get to what you need to get to. It's a part of your destiny. It's no exit saying, oh, no, you can get out of it this way. No, you got to go through everything. You can't take no shortcuts in this, y'all. Y'all getting me started already, and we supposed to have our guests, and y'all cutting me up already, but it's all right, because I got to let y'all know about this. I have to let you know that even though you are in the eye of the storm, you are being tested. You're at a level right now where your faith is being tried. It's being tried in your health. It's being tried in your household. It's being tried in your businesses. Things might not look so well in your businesses, but what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to keep going. You're not supposed to throw in the towel. You're not supposed to say, I can't and I won't do this. You are supposed to say, I will succeed. I am going to do this. I'm going to be better and greater than the next. You're going to be above and beyond what people are going to be talking about in these coming years. Amen? And I just want to let you guys know that you're in the most sensitive times of your life right now. So you have to be able to embrace those times. Embrace the times where it feels lonely. Because at times when you're going through your journey, it's always going to be people that are going to drop off. It's not going to be the same people going with you where you're going, because they can't go with you, right? And even I have noticed in these last couple of months and weeks that there have been challenging. It's been rough. But God has the last say over everything, and it's not over until he says it's over. And if you can remember that while you're going through what you're going through, we're doing okay, man. You have to remember that God has the last say, and it's not over until he says it's over, right? And some of you that may be going through, God is trying and has been trying to talk to you for a long time. He's just been trying to get your attention. He's like, hello, Sally over here, can I get like 2 seconds with you? Like, you giving all your friends all this time, but you're not giving me none. But then when that giant comes down, then you want to acknowledge that I'm here. No, acknowledge him now when there's nothing going on, because you're going to need the strength that he gives us every day to be able to endure those big giants that comes down the pipe holes every now and again. It got to be a loophole. It got to be a test. You can't go through this world and you can't breathe the same air and not go through anything. If you are walking with God, you're going to walk through some things just like he had to walk through some things. All right? And I'm telling y'all, tonight it's about, just facing the storm. And some of you may be dealing with, major issues like in your credit. And I know that's one of the top things that people deal with these days. And credit stops you from being able to do a lot of things. get a house, a car. Sometimes even when you're going to apply for jobs, they wonder about your credit. Amen. And I know these things because I've walked through it. That is a part of my testimony of being said, oh, your credit's too low or you don't have enough credit. But you know what? There are people that are put in place on this earth for you. And remember, we talked about being assigned. There's somebody that is assigned to you to be able to help you in that area. And that's why I really wanted to make it my business to find somebody that can be able to share their testimony and to share their expertise in that area tonight, because I feel that it's important. It's a part of your life. So if you can get your credit in order, everything else can fall in order too, right? So I seeked out for this young lady, and she was so very quick to respond to me, and I'm so grateful for her that she did do that. And I let her know that you don't understand how important that somebody might be on this call tonight and on this broadcast that's listening that might be facing credit issues and don't know what to do with it. So that means that, by her taking the initial step to say yes to her purpose, which is doing what she's doing, to help others in that area, that is going to be able to help somebody else that's listening tonight. And that is my ultimate goal for tonight, is to be able to help in that area. So I definitely want to, let you guys know, if you have anybody, family and friends, that is not on the broadcast, I want you to take this very second right now to share the broadcast and let people know. Text, email, phone call them, do whatever you need to do, so that we can be able to give you some knowledge in that area tonight. Is that okay? And I hope that it is, because, I tell you, with this show, it can go left or right with me. It's whatever God drops in my spirit to do, because I'm obedient. I said yes, and when I say yes, that means whatever he says, that's what it means at that particular time. So I definitely want to make sure that you guys are having the faith in God to build up your financial situation, to help with your credit issues, because all of that stuff is a trigger to your children, to your household, to your business. Everything, all of that is tied in one, okay? So I definitely want you guys to, do what I always tell you to do every week. Take notes. Take out your little pen and pad. The same way if you were in school when you had to study and you had to listen to that professor talk, I want you guys to listen tonight to the key things that are being said as we're talking to her, particularly about credit and, how she got started, right? And it's also a note to people who probably would like to do this in the long run. This is also a note for you to take some knowledge in as well. So we're getting closer in. I don't know if Miss Danielle Gaspard has tuned in with us yet. Danielle, are you there? Okay, you guys, so I don't think she's here yet. But I do want to just let you guys know also that your credit is something that we all should take seriously and that we should not take lightly. You should never take it lightly at all. You should always remember that there are things that you can fix to make your life better. You know what I'm saying? And it may take a little bit of money and it may take a little bit of time, but do what you have to do to get that done. And I want you to just understand that it's not an easy thing. You know what I mean? It's not easy at all. When you have kids and you have other things that have to be tackled, you have to know, what is a priority, and you want to learn how to put that in motion for your life. It's like an action plan that you want to put down. What is it exactly that needs to come first? If it's my credit, then you work on your credit. And then you can align everything else up on that. And just think about it. Like, one of the things with my testimony is that when me and my husband were looking for a place to live, you guys don't even understand that I did not realize how important credit really was. It really sucks because you have to do everything with your credit, and it became like a burden to me. It became a burden to my heart that that was really undeniable because I was just like, oh my gosh, like I have to get my credit in order. You know what I'm saying? Because even one little thing can like hurt it. You know what I'm saying? Even sometimes when you don't even have any credit, that can still hurt stuff. Because they're like, okay, what am I holding you accountable for if you don't even have anything to show for it? You know what I'm saying? So credit is definitely like a major issue, and you still have to apply your faith to everything that you do. It can't be any doubt there. It has to be a push and a will to be able to handle some of the pressures of dealing with your credit and dealing with your housing situation and your job situation. And it's just the society that we live in right now that it's like it's no way around it. You have to deal with it. You have to be able to push to do that, to get what you need out of it and to grow and be able to do what you want to do ultimately in your life. So it starts with those little things, and it's going to take strength, and it takes a lot of bills to kind of prepare you and equip you for what you need to be equipped for. So I'm trying to check now the guys and make sure that Miss Danielle is coming on, because we're definitely ready to talk to her regarding this lovely subject that everybody tries to avoid. And you really can't get away with it at all. You really cannot. You can't get away with it. It's not something that you can push under the rug. You literally have to take an accountability for your credit. You have to take an accountability for it. It's not anything that anybody really can do for you. It's really something that you have to do. And if you're married or thinking about getting married, those are some of the things that we usually don't think about. We're like, oh, we're about to get married and we don't have to worry about it. But guess what? If your soon-to-be wife's credit is messed up or your credit, is messed up, those things get looked at jointly, when you become married. You know what I mean? They get looked at jointly. There's no separateness involved in that at all. So those are things that we normally don't think about. And I know I didn't, when I got married, just to technically be honest, I didn't think about any of that. I just was like, okay, I'm getting married, or, nobody really looks at that at the end of the day. You have some people that are very, observant to the fact that their spouse might have bad credit or whatever the case may be. But then there are some others, like myself, who really just didn't pay attention to it, and we didn't really start getting into that until well into the marriage. And it doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means that it's work. Marriage is work. Even when you're single by yourself, it's still work because you still have to get stuff together on your end. You know what I'm saying? So, don't ever think for a second that, that this can't be done at all, because it can be. You just have to make the time and you have to make the effort to do these things. And right now is a better time than any to handle these situations, especially, when you're going through. And for a person like me, that has been through, living in a shelter and things like that, the one thing that I've noticed that they do offer help like that. They have people that will come along on the site that will be able to help you with those things, because they know that they can be a barrier to you moving forward in your life, is your credit. You know what I'm saying? And what I liked about them is that they had this program, and what happens in that program is you will save a little bit of money. You have to put up money from out of your check or whatever you get, and basically they'll match it. You know what I'm saying? And what happens is that once they match it, and once you get to a certain point, and once you moved out of the shelter and things like that, then you're able to have money, and you're also building your credit at the same time. So you see, it's not a lot of programs that are like that out here, which I feel like there should be, especially with people who have gone through hard times or that are going through struggles, because let's not forget and let's be very clear, life still happens, okay? It doesn't matter how great of a job it is or not. Life still does happen. So we want to definitely be prepared for those times if we can. Just be aware of your situation and know that it can change at any given moment, and nothing is final. You know what I mean? So it's best to be prepared than not prepared. So I am trying to see. Danielle, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, great. I'll tell you guys, she is finally on, and this is Danielle Gaspard, and she is a credit repair specialist. And I have been trying to gear you guys up for her because, again, I'm triple excited that she's able to come on tonight to give a little knowledge and share a little knowledge in that area. So how are you doing, Danielle?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay, and I'm so glad that you're able to come on to, be a light to us and share light on this area, because a lot of us don't understand how incredibly important it is to get our credit together. So, do you mind telling me how did you even get started? Let's hear a little bit about you. So, who is Danielle Gaspard?
You can hear me perfectly, right?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Well, I started out about a year ago, actually December, around this time. My credit score was shot. I'm not afraid to tell it. It was a 435. I went through a situation with me and my husband. We separated, left him with the bills, so I couldn't pay him, so my credit score went down. And I don't know how I found, you probably heard of it, the budget, the Dream Catchers group.
Yes.
With what's her name, Tiffany, the Budgetnista. I don't know how I found that group, but I did, and I learned so much from the group. So I was like, let me see if I can, repair my credit. So I started, disputing items, sending in verifications, and I started to get results. Within 3 months, I shot my credit score up to a 650. And just disputing doesn't, help. It does help your credit score, but it's also a mindset. You have to change your mindset as well.
Yes. I definitely believe that mindset has a lot to do with that, because you have to make a conscious decision, about your life, and your credit is definitely a part of your life. So from there, how did you become a credit repair specialist?
I actually just bought a whole bunch of books and educated myself on it. Mm-hmm. I looked into certifications. There's not that many out there. There's not that many legit ones out there from what I found. But I pretty much just educated myself. I bought a whole bunch of books and, looked up a lot of things online. And, knowledge is power.
Yes, it is. Because a lot of people, think that sometimes it takes a lot of schooling to do a lot of things, but a lot of people really do kind of self-teach themselves. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes that's the best way to go, to really be honest.
It is.
You know what I mean? So that's really interesting to hear you say that.
It saves a lot of money, and you're doing it yourself. So, and it's time management. You do it yourself, and you figure out what goals you want, and the deadline. You meet your own deadlines.
Great. So, for all the listeners that are out there, because Danielle, you and I both know, again, that credit is probably the number one thing that people deal with, good or bad. And we know that out here in the society that we live in, credit is becoming the like major thing that people look at, whether you're trying to buy a house, get an apartment, a car, even sometimes in dealing with business, and even sometimes even in hiring somebody. Now I've heard people say that, you know, your credit has to be a certain score. So for that person that may be, you know, struggling with their credit, and if they were to, you know, seek out for help in that area, what would your program offer to them?
My program currently offers a complete credit analysis of all your 3 reports. So that's pretty much me taking all 3 reports, putting them there right in front of me, and I'm comparing each one, making sure all the information is accurate. It also includes weekly education that I sent. So you're not just getting your credit repaired, you're also changing your mindset. So I'm sending out newsletters every week about tackling your debt, money management, savings, budgeting, things like that. I also assist in student loans as well as first-time home buyers. And that's pretty much it for my programs.
Oh, wow. Well, that's a lot. Because I definitely know people that have student loans. I hear a lot of people saying that, yes, everybody wants to go to school, but there's always it's the issue with this, you know, with the student loans. And I'm like, how can I get this off? Like, I've had a lot of people who talk about that. They want to further their education.
Like, a lot of people feel like their student loans, when they have it on their credit report, it's something negative.
Okay.
It can be, in a sense, but it's something positive, actually. It can actually increase your score. So say if you have a student loan from Navient, and say it's a negative balance or something, and it's reported on your credit report. If you get it deferred, that gets reported to your credit report, and that could increase your score because now it's stating that it's in good standing. And also, when a lot of people don't understand that increasing your credit score just isn't about removing the inaccurate information. It's also about having a mixture of things on your credit report. So I have like a few clients. I'm not going to put their names out there, but they have, you know, one credit card, and they're like, how come my score, you know, isn't increasing as fast as I wanted to? I'm like, listen, you got to have a mixture of things. Okay, I'm not telling you to go get a car loan, go get a student loan. I'm not telling you to do all that. But if you want to increase your score and you just have a credit card, get something else. Maybe get another credit card, or maybe look into Self-Lender. Self-Lender is a great program to look into when you want to build your credit.
Okay. So that's actually very interesting to know, because a lot of people think that, you know, having student loans are, you know, the worst thing in the world. But what I also know is, too, just from talking to other people, too, as well, is like, what would you tell somebody that's dealing with an eviction on their credit and things like that? Like, these are so many things that are in everyday society. Like, a lot of people get stopped from getting another house or an apartment. So how long really does it take before any of that stuff, like, shows up on their credit to where they can't, like, you know, move forward with that? Because I think a lot of listeners want to know that, too. Like, you know, how long does it usually take for that eviction to show up? Does it show up automatically, or does it, you know, take a little while before it actually shows up on your credit report?
If you have an eviction, it usually pulls up once it gets filed into the courts. So it usually shows up within a month or two of that. But it usually takes 7 to 10 years for it to come off. But there are tricks of getting it removed. There are definitely ways to remove it. I'm not going to get into explaining how I get them removed, but there definitely are ways of getting, you know, judgments and liens and bankruptcies off.
And are those the biggest things that you usually deal with as a credit repair, is like evictions and judgments and things like that, or is it all kind of like going out the same way?
Right now, my main thing is bankruptcy.
Mhm.
So those are the main things that I work with right now, and collections, a few charge-offs. I haven't seen a judgment or a lien yet, or eviction, but mainly bankruptcy. A lot of people have, done a bankruptcy and they want it removed so they can move on with their life.
Right. So, another thing that I wanted to kind of shed light with our listeners is um, basically, like, I know a lot of people, they kind of doubt, you know, um, getting somebody like a credit repair specialist to help them out. It's either they're already going in with the mindset of, oh my gosh, they're not going to be able to help me, or, you know, whatever they're facing on their credit is so tremendous that, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to take like a huge miracle to get some of the things off that some people might be dealing with. So I would wonder, like, just from your standpoint in doing this, um, what would be the encouragement that you usually give to your clients when they're asking you tons and tons of questions about, your services? Because I know it has got to be, it can get overwhelming because you're just like, those are a lot of questions, but people are like that genuinely because they want to know. And some people want a right now fix, but sometimes things like that take time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
what exactly, like, do you tell your clients when they're kind of like that? They're kind of like, okay, I need something like right now, for whatever reason.
I always tell my clients, I'm like, everybody's situation is different. I just had a client. She was with me for 2 weeks, and her score shot up by 50 points.
Wow.
And then I have another client who's been with me a little bit longer, and their score is, going up a little bit here and there. So everybody's situation is differently. If you want a right away fix it, I'm not your girl. I'm not your girl.
Right.
I always like it takes time. And, my clients, even with me telling my clients that, someone will be like, well, how long do you think it will be? And I'm like, you can start to see results within 30 days. But your score is not going to shoot up 200, 300 points within 30 days. That's not going to happen.
Right.
So I always let them know it takes time.
So the flip side to this is that, we definitely want everybody to work on their credit. Like, that's a definite. We definitely want everybody to work on the credit. But we do have a flip side to this, which is, another set of listeners that may be out there that's just like, okay, well, I got my credit in order. Now, what if I was interested in this type of profession? Like, how would you explain to them on how to get started with that? Because there's a lot of people out here that's now trying to be in the business of working for themselves. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's better that way. You know what I mean? Like, people just need that independency for whatever reason and dealing with their families and just the time. And they just want to be their own boss. Could you explain to them how they can go about doing that? Or just, give them a little advice on how you did it?
I would say the first step to actually becoming a credit repair specialist is to educate yourself. Like I said before, knowledge is power. You don't want to come out of the gun and not know everything. Or you're not going to know everything, because as you work on clients, you're going to learn new things, and as you read books, you're going to learn new things. But you want to learn the basics before you come out. Also, try to repair a few of your family members' credit to see if you can actually do it. Practice makes perfect. So do that. Those are the first 2 steps that I took.
Wow. And, like, how would you say that it's been for you since you became a credit specialist?
It's been good to me, actually. Business is really well. It's actually doing pretty well. It's been a few bumps. That's with any business. You go right over the bumps right when you come to it. So, it's been pretty good. There's been a few changes from the beginning. The beginning was a little unorganized, and I'm a very organized person, so it drove me crazy. Now I have a system in place. Prices I changed. I have my lifetime prices now, which is $25 a month, and only reason why I chose that price was because I don't want to hurt people's pockets. I'm here to help, not put a hole in anybody's pocket.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm saying yes because there are so many other people that charge so much more. You and I both know, even just doing the homework of just trying to find somebody to do that. Like, those prices can get a little sticky. So just for you even just, being compassionate in that way and just understanding somewhere in your mind that, if I do it this way, everything else is going to fall in line or everything else is going to come. You know what I mean? That sometimes, we don't really think about that. We think about it's the money. It's the money. It's the money. And I don't think for 1 second that that's how anybody should really be about the money. Sometimes it's, other ways that will come. So I do thank you for being one of the many that considers those things. And that's why I believe that, what you're doing is going to be blessed abundantly because you have that mindset and that heart to do something a little bit different from what has already been laid out by other competitors, as what I call them. So I do appreciate you on behalf of all of these listeners for even having something that is affordable because, again, in the times that we live in, people just don't have it anymore. You know what I mean? So just that part, it makes a difference. So where can, our listeners find you? Like, how can they get in contact with you? Because I'm so serious. There's probably so many people out here like, yes, somebody came more than can help me.
Well, you can find me on Facebook, Danielle Gaspar. My page is public. My number, I can shoot my number out, right? I just wanted to make sure. Number is 914-640-0348. If I don't pick up, leave a message. I will contact you right back. What else? Facebook is usually the main source that everybody contacts me on, though.
Right.
Those are my ways of contact. I also have an email address, but do I even? Yeah, you can just find me on Facebook.
So you guys heard it. Facebook is probably the best way.
Facebook is the best way to contact me.
Yes.
Oh, let me tell y'all my sale real quick, though.
Yes, please do.
All right, I have a Christmas sale. It's going on for the whole month of December.
Great, share.
Yes, anybody who enrolls in the month of December only has to pay $10 a month. So your grandfather's in. So that means you're paying $10 this month, $10 next month, and that's your price until you feel like your credit is good enough, and then we'll cancel your contract at that point. But it's $10, and that's it. That's only if you enroll this month.
So you guys hear that, right? This month in December, she has a great special going on, and I want everybody that is listening to take advantage of it. Even if somebody's not on the broadcast listening, make sure that you take down her information, text it to your family and friends because we all have issues with credit. So don't think for a second that you can't utilize her services because she's giving it to you straight right now. On Facing Purpose tonight, you guys. So that is awesome. Those are awesome rates.
Yes.
That is awesome. So again, yes, you can, and that's honesty. You cannot anywhere. So That is great. So I want everybody to take advantage of that. And I hope that you guys were doing what I told you guys to do with your notebooks and your pens, taking down all of this information that she has spilled out about you and about her business and how she, started her business for those of you who are looking to start businesses and still wavering in that area on what to do. You have it. You heard it out of her mouth on how she started it, and we want you guys to take advantage of every piece of knowledge that was displayed tonight. So, Danielle, I do thank you so very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on and speak to us about something that is so very important. And I can't even thank you enough for shedding some knowledge and some light and a little bit of comfort, too, because, when you're dealing with your credit, that can be very scary.
Yeah,
that
definitely.
can be very, very scary. And I think there was another question. It had something to do with, when you're pulling up and you're looking at your credit report, do they actually make your credit score go down when you keep constantly looking at it? Like, I always wanted to know that.
Like, if you're looking at it on Credit Karma or something?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
The score will not go down. That is a myth.
Okay, great. See, she's cleared that up because I always wanted to know that.
So check away.
Thank you again so very much for coming on tonight. You guys make sure that you find her on Facebook. She's given out all of the contact information in the world, so you have no excuse why you can't jump on this and actually, follow through with her. That even goes for me too, you guys. So don't think I'm just talking to y'all. It's definitely for me too. Because, sometimes we can be very, very slow to move. And sometimes when it's saying move, we don't move. So we definitely want to make this leap going into 2018 together where we're clearing up the things that need to be cleared up. We don't want to go through another year in a mess. So I, again, thank you so very much for coming on, Danielle.
You're welcome.
All righty. And we'll be touching bases with you sooner rather than later. I hope that lots and lots of testimonies will come through about using your services. So we will chat with you soon and catch back up with you, down the line to find out how everything is going, okay?
Okay, sounds great.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So, you guys, I really do hope that you guys enjoyed this segment today. Like, I wanted to kind of do things a little bit different tonight, going in another direction because, again, credit is so very, 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 very important. And even with our children, we want to teach our children, okay, get these things in order. You don't want to take your whole life to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, although we are, children of God and things like that, and it's called having faith and belief, but there's some things that God says, you know what, don't be naive about. Don't ignore that, because these are the things that are going to help you get through in this life. And those are things that people just think automatically are supposed to change itself. No, it's what Danielle said. It starts with your mind. It starts with the changing of your mindset. And if that doesn't change, then nothing else is going to change at all, And again, that goes back to what I talked about in the beginning of the show about being in the eye of the storm. And right now you may be facing a storm, but it's not to hurt you or harm you. It is to build you. It is to build your character. It's to build you in your faith walk, because some of our faith walk is kind of weary. It's kind of like back and forth. You ever seen a car on the road, and when you're driving, it's you might see something and you're kind of swerving. That's kind of like what some of our faith is. And I think that going into this new year, we all need to get a hold and get a grip of the steering wheel, if you will, and learn how to soar in your time of your storm, because it's not meant to break you or to harm you. It's definitely meant to make you better and to focus your attention on things at hand. And things like credit, those are things that you are supposed to be getting together so it can better your life. I heard Juanita Bynum the other day say that, God did not intend for us to struggle. He didn't intend for us to be on this earth and not live abundantly. Like some of us choose to live these crazy lives when we don't even have to. And what I mean by that is because you're not taking the opportunities that is granted on this earth by people like Danielle that come along with this thing that they have, this niche that they have. Because, again, all of us have something that the next person needs. So if you're not executing that and you're not tapping into that, you can't be a help to any of us. You know what I mean? Because it's something out there for everybody. You have to be able to execute these things in a manner as such. So you have to do the work. You have to change your mindset. You have to be ready to push past all adversity when it's coming down the line. I could have very well been like, oh, well, you know what, tonight I'm not doing this show because my grandmother is just bad. But you know what, if I hadn't did that, then what would I be doing to the people that have been coming on week after week after week that is just looking for that motivation and that inspiration? That just lets you know it's not about you. Even if I'm facing a big giant in my life right now, life still has to go on. You still have to continue to make those steps and those changes in your life if you want to better them. You know what I mean? And that is a part of my storm. Getting hit with something like that could have easily wiped me out to be like, you know what, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. And, sometimes that's what the enemy sits back and he waits for. He wants you to sit back and say, I'm done. No, you have to tell yourself, I'm not done. I'm going to keep pressing whether it looks like this or look like that. I'm going to keep pressing if my health feels like it's fading and it's dropping away. But, we have to take accountability for what we're doing to ourselves. Why is your credit looking like that? Are you splurging too much? Are you taking things that you shouldn't really be taking on? Come on, somebody. Like, we have to talk about these things. We have to take accountability for the things that we are doing in our life, and then we have to take accountability for how we're going to fix it once it's messed up. You know what I mean? Nobody, wants to live in struggle. Sometimes things happen, but there are some things that we can avoid. You know what I mean? So I want you guys to take heed to these things tonight. Even the simplest things like tonight, these are things that we need to take with us. And again, like I tell you every week, eat it and digest it, drink it, sleep on it, do whatever you need to do. Because going into this new year, you don't still want to be battling with the same thing you were battling with 2 years ago. And then it doesn't take for 2018 to come in. You can start to do it now. You can start to make those changes now. You can start to set your family up for better now. You don't have to wait to get ready to start that business. You don't have to wait to get ready to go back to school. You don't have to wait to get ready to be able to do greater and bigger things. There's always this, everybody saying, wait. No, the time is now. The time is now. You have to, take accountability for your actions going forth now. And it starts with that, everything, your family, your credit, it starts with it all. So I hope you guys are really, really, taking the time out to figure out what it is that you guys want to do, what it is that's going to work for you, what it is that's going to make you better. You must always be equipped for a time such as now. We can't afford to miss any detail because it may be significant to your destiny. I'm going to go back and repeat that again because I feel like somebody needs to hear it again. You must be equipped for such a time as now. You can't afford to miss any detail because it may be significant to your destiny. Be careful of being distracted or too much distraction. You can miss what your destiny aligns for you. So all of the distractions, you have to cease it. Sometimes being quiet is the best way to go. Sometimes if you just sit and observe, that's the best way to go because God can speak to you. But when there's a whole rack of noise around, you can't hear him speaking. It's no way. So you have to learn how to be quiet and make those adjustments in your atmosphere so you can hear the instructions that are upon your life and that are upon your destiny. And that goes with finances. That goes with your credit. That goes with your marriage and your children. There are things that God wants to tell you that he can't tell you because you got too many distractions around. You'll miss it. You have to pray day in and day out for yourself and for your families, for other things that need your prayers. And if your prayers are not wrapped up in just in you, you have to leave you alone sometimes and go before God for somebody else. Somebody else needs your prayers. So it's not all about you. You got to make that transition and be like, you know what, tonight I'm not going to even pray for me because guess what? God got you in the background. You got to remember that there's others that need you. Some of them can't even pray for themselves because they're too sick to do so. Hello, like there are a lot of different things that is a distraction to you doing what you need to do that's going for your destiny right now. So if you take anything away from tonight, understand that your destiny is in the front of you. It's in the eye of the storm. It's right there. So that means that if you reach your hand out, you're almost there. You're almost in touching the distance of your destiny if you would only do the things that's necessary to help you get there. Don't get wrapped up in the things of the world because we're not meant to stay here forever. Some of us get so wrapped up and caught up in materialistic things, you forget you're only here for a time until God says that's enough. So we get so wrapped up in these things, and you're missing it. You're missing the importance of the reason why God still has you here. But while you're here, be smart. Be knowledgeable. Take care of the things that you need to take care of. You know, don't forget the things that are important. Your faith is your biggest tool. It is a call of urgency in this world. And right now we're in a state of emergency. And we in the body of Christ need to be praying and seeking God like never before. Like never before, you guys. So I'm leaving you with this tonight, that you have to make the change so that change can start in your life, so that your abundance can meet you in your storm. I thank you guys for listening. I thank you guys for tuning in with me week after week as I'm touching on facing purposes. All of this has something to do with purpose. All of it. It's not excluded. It's all a part of your purpose. Getting your life together, getting these things aligned up, it's all a part of your destiny, and it's tied into your purpose. You can't leave one out without the other. You can't go one in front of the other. Like they all have to align themselves together. So I want you guys to just keep pressing on. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep going forth. Don't throw in the towel. Don't quench. Just keep going. And keep God in the forefront, and everything will be what it needs to be. So I thank you guys for rocking out with me. Again, this week, I hope that next Tuesday you guys will tune in with me at 8 p.m., and I hope that you guys share this broadcast with somebody who needs it, be a blessing to somebody else. And if you guys need to find me, you can always find me at Lakia Barnett on Facebook. You can also email me at facingpurpose32@gmail.com. Leave your questions and your comments, things that you want to hear talked about, things that, I may not have shared that you want to hear shared. Please, by all means, you can inbox me on Facebook or leave it in my email. And again, I have a workshop that is coming up in Washington, D.C. on January the 6th, be kicking off 2018. activating your vision in your struggle. Remember that your vision it doesn't come, you know, when things are going well all the time. Sometimes it comes when things are like a mess. You know what I'm saying? So don't think for a second that just because you're in your struggle, you cannot activate your vision and walk in your purpose and get started in whatever you are called to do. So if you guys are in the D.C. area or know people that are in the Washington, D.C. area, it will be held at the Anacostia Library on that date from 3:30 to 5 p.m. And I want you guys to share that information out so people can come and get knowledge and get activated and start walking into their purpose and what God has already set and planned for their lives. You guys, please make sure that you guys tune in, because I am getting a selective guest lined up for you guys, because I'm thinking about you. I'm thinking about you in my prayers at night, and I want to know what you guys need to hear and what's going to help you going forward. So don't forget to drop your suggestions and your comments in my inbox on Facebook or in my email. And don't even forget, don't you dare, you guys, forget about my book, Slay, Pray, Believe. I'm always triple excited to talk about that book because it was written in a time as such where things were hectic, you know what I mean? And I didn't think that I could do it, but God gave me strength and He gave me the tools to be able to do so. And so my goal is to spread that love and to bless others with it. And you can purchase that on Amazon.com and be blessed, be blessed. And working on some other things in the background. And I hope you guys will continue to tune in with me week after week as we all grow together in facing our purpose. So, I'm just going to leave you with this, that you can do it. Whatever it is that you want to do, you can do it. You can be great. You don't have to settle. You don't have to, have a whole bunch of people in your corner to be able to do what you need to do. God has already ordained you and called you to do what it is that He has set for you to do. I've already been told, always been told growing up and still being told to this day that God called you specifically because He knows that you can handle it. Even when you don't feel like you can handle it, He knows that you can handle it. That's why He has given you that assignment. And all of us are called to different assignments. But nobody said that it was going to be easy going through these assignments either. It's not supposed to be easy, because if everything was made easy, then how are you learning anything? You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to leave with that tip. And also remember my quote that I always use, you guys. And God has given me this quote because I've been like, oh my gosh, where did this come from? And that's how the title of my book came about. Remember that slay is for, you don't have to look like what you go through. You don't have to look like what you go through. You can be in a shelter, but you don't have to look like you come from a shelter. You don't have to look like your struggle, right? You can look like somebody meaningful, and you can still be grand even while going through what you're going through. Pray is because you have to. It is a must that you pray every day, every second of your life, so that you can hear from God and hear instructions that you need to hear to propel you forward. Believe is your faith. It's what's going to help you get through, even when you don't even see it at that time. But your job is to believe it and have faith and walk in it. That's it. So if you can do that, you're going to soar past everything that comes your way, okay? And I want you guys to know that I'm praying for you, and I'm rooting for you guys, and I want to hear your testimonies flooded in about the things that God is doing for you and that He's going to do for you going into the new year. So you don't have to be burdened by anything. You just have to leave it to God, and you have to, again, change your mindset. Change it. Go do what you need to do with your credit. Go do what you need to do with your family. Do what you have to do so that you can live an abundant life. All right? And I hope that I've been a blessing to you guys tonight. and I pray that you get it and you understand it. Okay? So I will see you guys next Tuesday at 8 p.m. And I pray over everyone that you guys are strengthened and that you walk in everything that you need to walk in. In Jesus' name, amen. I love you guys, and I will see you next week at 8 p.m. You guys have a good night. Bye.